All right, so our stream is running. The stream should be running fine. Nitin, you'll trade it. Nitin, you'll trade anything. Nitin will trade anything. Just kidding. Just kidding. Uh, Today is quite a report. All right, we're just watching the gold market. I'm watching the euro. Um, we're here a little bit early. Gold Gold is actually negative since 9 p.m. last night, even though it's up. It is actually negative. It's
German
up, but
Chancellor
it's
Merz says we
negative,
are
which is not
sharing US and
unusual.
Israel goals regarding Iran's
That
nuclear
happens a
program.
lot. So we're just watching. So in theory, gold has an 8 o'clock move that people have been trading. Here comes 8 o'clock.
Secured overnight financing rate 3.66% March 5th versus 3.67% March 4th.
So gold was at 91.90 at 8. It was 91.90. Popped up a couple of ticks. And yesterday we talked about maybe using a 20 tick bracket might be wise on that trade. I don't know if a 20 bracket might have been a little big this morning, but I think a 10ish bracket is too small for anything gold these days. It's very hard to use a bracket that small. Gold could just cough. Right, TJ. I think a 20 might be interesting. It might be an interesting trade to test, like I was saying yesterday, but the last thing I need is this 8 a.m. trade room every morning. I can't do it. Even if I wanted to do it, I couldn't do it. It's just not possible for me. But it doesn't mean we can't test it. All right, let's talk about what's going on this morning. What's going on? Gold's going to do a magnet. It's going to do a magnet to the low. It's going to do it right now. Right? Don't you think, everyone? It's a lot of risk. Gold is a lot of risk. You could blow your account up in 1 second on gold. Putting on micro gold, a quick reverse continuation. know if I can do this fast enough. I think it's going to test it. So I put a reverse continue. Let's talk about the jobs report. So the jobs report, it's never an easy report to trade in general. Now, we don't have a YM setup, but the YM has been interesting it's been okay on the jobs report. Today, the problem is it's trading with retail sales. And we did use YM the last time. We didn't, we also had an ES setup, but we used YM and gold, but we've done some different testing. And it's 3 months later. Everything's different. This was December, and it was holiday trading. It was December 16th. The YM worked in sim. It was a very fast move. I don't know if people have notes on their December jobs report. Calvin, we do not trade Marvell's earnings. They don't work. They might have worked yesterday, but we've tried them multiple times. That's why we didn't do it. So gold, we were just trading a magnet. The YM had a very fast burst. Here's what I would say today. Today there's extra risk because we've got retail sales built into what we're doing. So it's an extra major report that tends to be a trap trade. So it's very difficult, very difficult to figure out what's going to work today. It's hard. It's hard. And that's why there's extra risk because these two reports don't usually trade together. And if you look at Forex Factory,
The Swiss government weighs a temporary VAT increase to bolster defense.
if you look at Forex Factory and you go to today's report, retail sales is trading today. Let me just see. I thought that they were talking about it being delayed because of the shutdown, but now there's no mention of that. Yeah. Delayed 17 days because of the government shutdown. So we're still dealing with leftover issues from the government shutdown. So we have a euro setup that has been working, and I'm going to trade the euro setup. I'm not trading anything funded. I'm just going to trade a couple of setups in prop accounts. I'd love to take a test of the low on MGC, but I don't want to get distracted from this event, okay? Don't really want to be distracted. I mean, ZF there's a setup. There's no way to know really what's going to be good today. There's no way to know because
Israeli
retail,
military are
as I
carrying out a
said,
new wave of strikes
retail
on
and
targets in
jobs
Tehran and Isfahan.
don't normally trade together. So it's an unknown. I mean, bonds usually move on the jobs report. So we have a setup. If you get a good breakout, bonds will be a good setup. So there is a valid setup. This is a lot of unknown today. It's high risk unknown. So I'm going to trade the euro because it's had some good moves We used to trade the euro historically also on this report. And the other setup we have is the ES. It's a big risk report because the ES has a very big stop. Anything you trade today, because you have to have a fairly big stop, there's plenty of risk. Plenty of risk. The euro breakout triggers at 829.58. The bracket is 15. One position for a 15 tick target. A second target for 40. And I would move my stop to break even if it hits the first target with the target one stop move. And the stop is 30. So the first thing I'll do is label it Euro BRK. I'm going to save the template. I'm going to call it NFP 6E and date it today. So I have a template set up, and I'm going to test the bracket by setting the time to 0. Making sure the charts are on sim.
According to ship trackers and trade sources, 2 liquefied petroleum gas tankers sailed from Iran today, and at least 5 tankers carrying Iranian crude oil have left Iran since February 28th.
Order
That's according to
submitted.
analysis, again, from ship trackers.
And there's our bracket.
Order canceled.
I'm going to turn off in the optional, I'm going to turn off the show vertical line on entry. And one more time, here's our bracket.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
So I'll put the time back to 8:28:58.
Indian
bracket
Oil
of
rejects
15.
reports of petrol
Position
and
1 is
diesel
a 1.
shortages.
Position 2 is the one. It's 8:29. 8:29. 8:29. Sorry. We probably pasted, something got pasted from a different DMM. The time was pasted wrong. 8:29:58. 8:29:58. Bracket of 15. Target of 15 and 40. Stop of 30. Going to break even if the first target gets hit. Target one stop move. That's the euro. And I'll put a reverse continuation on the euro as well. A couple of positions. I don't anticipate scalping the euro. I never trade the euro, so it's really just a breakout trade, to be honest. Either it works or it doesn't, and then I'll change that chart to something else. So it almost doesn't even pay to put a reverse continue on, but anytime I don't, I always regret it. So a target of 30, a stop of 40. The euro is what, $6 a tick or $5 a tick? I always forget. I think it's 5 a tick. It might be 6 1/4. I always forget. It's not 10, on that I know. Stop is 40. It's just a discretionary possible scalp. Same account as the breakout, 6E, reverse continue. And trading it in a regular prop account, nothing funded, nothing bad, just a regular prop account. Now, because we have a new setup with the ES, and the testing was interesting to good on the ES testing, I'm going to use the ES in another prop account. You know, if we get a breakout for all and it's a big move, then a lot of the setups will work nicely. That's what happens. If it's a whipsaw, then we're in trouble anyway, right? So we need a good move in January, in February, I should say. Uh, I'll show you the video. There was some fairly hefty moves. January was a problem with bad data, and then December was the only other time it traded with retail. So ES 0326. Markets are pretty negative. The world is a mess. It's beyond comprehension. Beyond comprehension. Putting on a breakout. 829.58. It's a big bracket, a 30 bracket. Try to protect against whipsaws. Target of 15 and 50. So it's a trade you may manage, most probably. 15 and 50. And the stop is big. It's a 60 tick stop. So this is a blow up your account trade if it doesn't work out. Just keep that in mind. I would personally probably not be trading it with cash. There should be good opportunities after the news to trade safer. Okay. If you don't mind blowing up a pop account or two, there's plenty of setups that could work too. All right. But keep in mind, there's enough risk that you could blow up an account. So you just want to keep it in mind. Be aware. And we could get frozen data. Who knows? Everything is up in the air. It could just be totally mellow too. Sometimes when you least expect it, you get what you least expect. I just made that up and it doesn't make any sense. So 829.58 brackets 30. Target 1, position 1 and position 2, just one contract each. 15 target 1, 50 target 2. Go to break even if it hits the first target and the stop is 60. We'll label it ESBRK. I think I'll save the ES template also because this is new. NFPES, today's date.
CBS reports that Trump and Defense Secretary Hegseth are to meet the CEOs of defense companies today.
And we will look at our bracket. Let's
So
turn
Trump has
off
quite a few closed press
the
meetings
vertical
today,
line,
executive time
apply
at
it,
8 a.m.
and
Eastern
okay
time.
it.
So that's probably starting now. But again, these are
And
closed
then
press,
we're
so
going to
there's no
look at our
media availability.
bracket by
He's got
setting the
signing time
time
at
to
1 p.m.
0,
today. He's got a policy meeting at 1:30.
leaving it on
And then
sim
he's got
for a
that meeting
minute.
with the Secretary of War, and that's Hegseth. That's at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So safe to assume that
Put
they'll
the
be
charts
meeting with
on
the
sim.
CEOs of defense companies at that time.
Order submitted.
And get a reasonably sized bracket for the news. All right, there's our brackets.
Order canceled.
Go back to the ES. 829.58 is our trigger time. Brackets 30. Target of 15 and 30. Stop is 60. And target one stop move is break even. And then we'll trade this in account number 32. Apply it. Okay it. And we'll put a reverse continue ES on the chart. Change the breakout to a reverse continue. One position is 1250 a tick, 40 tick target, 40 tick stop. Remember, this is just a discretionary trade. We'll label it ES reverse continue, and I'll trade it in the same account as the main trade. All right, so our ES is set up. We have the news down below, so we'll see the results. I'm watching the YM. I want to watch gold. If I were going to trade gold today, which I like trading gold, I realize gold has a lot of risk. Gold moved like 700 ticks last month on the report. Last month was a gigantic move. 700 ticks. And it was crazy. And then it reversed over 300 in 2 minutes. So that's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. I think that what I'll do, I'm just thinking out loud. So the gold setup, I would expand the bracket probably to 65, and I would expand the stop to 65 also. If I was trading a gold breakout, I'd want to use a bigger bracket. I'd go with a 65 bracket. Now, this is report. I don't want to trade 3 different accounts on it, because if it's just unlucky bad, I don't want to destroy 3 accounts on one trade. You know what I mean? Trading 2, I think, is plenty of risk. But I love watching gold. Now, YM, if you like trading the YM, there is a YM setup that is not on the DMM. And we've had a setup in the past that's been pretty good with a bracket of 40 and a stop of 65 with targets of 20 and 50, somewhere in there. Bracket of 40, stop of 65. If you like trading the YM. I'm going to watch gold. And I'm going to put a reverse, I'm going to put a magnet on gold. High of day, low of day. Just one position, standard target, -3, with a 50 tick stop.
Okay, so we're now just under 10 minutes away from the bottom of the
And
hour.
I'll
We'll get the
label
US
it, of
employment
course,
situation report for the month of February.
GC magnet.
Non-farm payrolls forecast 55k on the prior 130k. The range is 113 to -9k expected. Unemployment rate forecast 4.3%, unchanged from the prior, with a
And
range
I'll
of
put it on a
4.4 to
real account.
4.2%.
You know, it's going to be
Average
the
earnings year
last
on year
thing
forecast
I'm paying
3.7%,
attention to,
unchanged from the prior, with a range of
because
3.9 to 3.5%. And
I've got
average
other
earnings on the
things that
month
are
forecast
part of our
0.3% on the
normal
prior
setup. Gold,
0.4%.
I'm just
Work week
watching the
hours
magnet
forecast 34.3,
initially.
unchanged from the
Let me
prior.
make sure
And then the
that's a
breakdown for
viable
payrolls
account to
with private
trade it
payrolls
on.
forecast 60k on the prior 172k, manufacturing payrolls forecast -2k on the prior 5k, and government payrolls
Perfectly
saw a prior
fine
of
account to
-42k.
trade it on.
Retail
So
sales
you have
month
a
over month as
magnet
well.
on
So this
gold,
data
high
here
of
is for the
low,
month
high
of
of
January.
day, low of day. I'm
Forecast
not putting it on
-0.3%
automatic
on the prior
at the
0%,
moment.
range of
I'm just
0.5 to
watching at the
-0.8%.
moment. All right,
Core retail sales forecast 0%, unchanged from the
just
prior,
watching.
and retail sales year over year saw a prior rate of 2.43%.
And I will put a reverse continue on gold also, one contract.
Looking at a preview here, ANZ with a note ahead of the
One
February
position.
employment situation. They say the consensus estimates for
40
February
tick
labour market
target.
suggest NFP growth slowed to
40
55k in
tick
February from
stop.
130 in January. ANZ say that they will be watching for the breadth of employment gains across industries and revisions to the January data. They say that the unemployment rate is expected to remain stable at 4.3%. They say that if the report points to a deterioration in labour market conditions, they expect some FOMC members to advocate for a March rate cut.
GC reverse continue. And I'll double check all my accounts. So my gold trades are in 35. And again, I'm not gold. I'm really looking probably after the report if I do anything. So gold should be on 35. The ES should be on 32. Our setups on the ES, we have a reverse continue. And we have a 30 bracket on the breakout and a 60 stop. It needs a big move to give us a trade on the ES. I think it will can easily fill. We see it all the time. And then the euro. The euro breakout. $829.58 on the trigger, a 15 bracket. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target of 15, target of 40, stop of 30. Target 1 stop move is BE. All right. So we have a setup on the euro. And the euro's in 37. We also have a reverse continue set up on the euro. And just make sure all your accounts, your chart trader, you're on the right account so you see your orders. All right. So that's what we got going on.
So we're now 5 minutes away from the bottom of the hour, where we get the U.S.
They're
employment
expecting
situation report for the month of February.
58,000 jobs to be
Non-farm
created.
payrolls
The
forecast
unemployment rate,
55k on the prior
4.3.
130k,
But the other
with a range
big
of
news is retail sales.
113k to
Is
minus
the consumer
9k.
spending?
The unemployment rate forecast
I'm not.
4.3%, unchanged from the prior,
I haven't been
with a range
buying
of
much.
4.4 to
Have you been buying
4.2%.
very much?
Average earnings year over year forecast to remain
You think
unchanged at 3.7%,
retail sales
with a
are
range
up?
of
I think
3.9
retail
to
sales are down.
3.5% expected. Month
And
over month, forecast
the
0.3%
jobs
on the prior
data
0.4.
is
Average work week
going
hours,
to be
forecast
trusted. I don't
34.3,
know.
unchanged from the prior.
Do
Private
not know.
payrolls,
Do
forecast
not know.
60k on the prior 172k. Manufacturing payrolls, forecast minus 2k on the prior 5k. Government payrolls, forecast prior read of
Certainly
minus
could be.
42k. And the labour
And
force
remember, if the
participation for the
numbers are
US
rigged,
forecast at
we don't care
62.5%,
initially
unchanged from
if
the
numbers
prior.
are rigged.
So we'd also get the
We
US
just want a
retail sales
number
data
that
for the month
creates
of
tradable
January.
move.
Month over
That's
month, the
our
forecast is
biggest
minus
issue.
0.3% from the
Real
prior
numbers,
0%,
fake
with a
numbers,
range of
doesn't
0.5
really
to minus
matter. We just want a
0.8%.
number that
Core
creates a
retail sales month over month
tradable move.
forecast
That's all.
0%, unchanged from the prior, and retail sales year over year saw a prior read of 2.43%.
Now, it's always interesting.
Looking at a note
Gold
from
did
Bank of
not make
America
that
ahead of
low.
the non-farm payrolls
All right.
report, they
It
note that the
didn't
labour
make the
supply
low.
appears to be stabilising near full employment, even as it absorbs
It
shocks
was a
on both the
time of
supply and the
day
demand side. They say that immigration restrictions have constrained labour supply, while tariff
that
uncertainty
normally is
and
usually good
AI-related
for
disruption
trading
and fiscal
magnets,
policy shifts have
honestly.
weighed on hiring decisions. Of these forces, reduced labour supply is likely to be the more important driver of a softer headline job growth this year in total. Bank of America also note that as tariff uncertainty fades, fiscal policy provides a positive impulse and consumer spending remains resilient. Labour
That's
demand
exactly
should
right. The
gradually
market
recover.
responds to whatever
Payrolls growth is
numbers
projected
released.
to average around 60k per month this year, with tighter immigration likely lowering the break-even pace of job creation to roughly 20,000 per month. They note that that level of hiring would still be consistent with an economy operating close to full employment.
All right, folks. Euro on the left, ES in the middle, watching gold on the right. And then we'll stick around for the market opens, etc. So look, we already have a difficult candle, right? A 28 tick candle, 28 tick candle. Our bracket's 30, right? Our bracket's 30. And that was a 28 tick candle.
1 minute remaining. I'll lead with US non-farm payrolls.
All right, 30 seconds. Just watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. 15 seconds.
10 seconds.
ES in the middle. Euro on the left.
Order submitted.
Brackets.
Order submitted. Order
Minus
filled.
92k. Minus
Order
92k. That's lower than forecast. 55k with the prior
Order
revised down
filled.
to
Yes.
126k from 130k.
Euro.
The unemployment rate 4.4%.
Cold.
4.4%. That is higher than forecast.
Let me
4.3%.
fix my
Average
chart.
earnings year over year at 3.8% to 3.8%.
So we had an
which
awesome
is higher than
ES
forecast
trade.
at 3.7%.
We
So
had
the
a
markets here, dollar weakening,
nice
S&P
little Euro
500 weakening,
trade.
bond yields weakening
Looks
as
like a
well.
breakout
Also
for
got
all.
retail sales month over month minus 0.3%,
Terrible,
minus
terrible,
0.2%, higher than
terrible
forecast
news.
minus
Terrible
0.3.
news.
Core retail sales
Absolutely
0% as
awful,
expected.
awful news.
Private payrolls minus 86k, which is lower than forecast.
Retail
Build of
sales
60k.
bad.
Average work week hours
And
at 34.3
retail
as
sales
expected.
look lousy.
Average earnings on the month at 0.4%.
Looks like bad
0.4%,
news across the board
which is
to me.
higher than forecast.
Bad news across the
0.3%.
board.
Manufacturing payrolls minus 12k, lower than
Let
forecast.
me turn
minus
off
2k,
my ES
and labor force
breakout.
participation at 62%,
Now I have too many
lower than
setups.
forecast. 62.5.
Turning off my Euro
Government payroll showing a
breakout.
loss of 6,000 jobs. So again,
Too many
non-farm
setups
payrolls
to
unexpectedly
scalp at the
reducing
moment.
jobs for February. That's minus 92k on expectations of a gain of
Gold
55k. So we're seeing weakness in the
pushing
dollar
up,
and the
pushing
S&P
up,
500
pushing
government
up.
bond yields as well.
I'm trying to think. I'm watching, folks. Right now I'm just watching. Okay. If you want to report in what you traded, the ES was perfect. The news was bad, and the market just went down. And that's the kind of move we wanted on the ES. I do not like the NQ on this news, Nitin.
Gold
You
as
know
well,
me.
rising after the
I
non-farm
generally
payrolls
avoid
data, up
the
around spot
NQ
8%.
on most major news. I just don't like the whipping. I don't like the whipping.
We've
It's
posted
the
the employment
whippiest
situation February report on the feed for those interested.
index. Whereas our testing this week was really good on the ES. The testing looked really good on the ES. Was it a funded account or just the eval? Or just the eval? Eval, right? So a fabulous move on the ES. $800 trade. Gold looked like it had a great move. I have to watch the video because I was not watching at the exact moment of the report, but it looks like gold possibly had a burst, but I need to look at the speed. The candle
We
to
have
the
also
naked
posted out the
eye
January retail
looks
sales reports on the feed.
unbelievable. 340 ticks. Usually I like to trade gold. $39 on ZF, Roz? Okay. ZF, not my first choice on this report. It's just not. I don't know. Not with retail, I guess. That was the monkey in the room, the elephant in the room.
So
Something was
traders
in
here
the
are
room.
adding to bets on at least one Fed rate cut this year.
Gold now looks like it wants to do a high of the day magnet. It's a lot of risk. Gold's a lot of risk. It's up 51. It's up 51. You could switch over to micro gold if you wanted to. It's like a $500 risk. ES, probably, you had a little bit of a retrace. A little bit of a retrace. Wait, you didn't trade bond breakout? You didn't trade the bond breakout? What'd you do on bonds? Nice, Lewis. Bonds was a breakout. That was the setup on bonds. Oh, I got you. Okay. I don't know that there's enough movement in bonds to trade to do the scalping. I don't think bonds is a good scalping instrument, to be honest. Not enough movement. You don't get 300 ticks like you get out of gold or the ES or the NQ. So, the question is, do you want to take a magnet on gold? It's not a bad looking magnet. Looks like it's going to work
The Canadian dollar here
if you
strengthening
took it,
spot 2% against the US
right?
dollar following the jobs data. So in Europe,
Looks like it might
Germany's
make it.
10-year bond yields are dropping after the data as well. They're last down around 2 basis points.
I don't know that I have enough time to change to a MGC if you want to reduce your risk on the magnet. Turn the magnet back on, MGC. Actually, I need to add probably an extra contract. Only had one. So you make it 2 just for fun. Let's see if the magnet is going to work. What do you think, folks? If gold goes up, gold's looking like it wants to make a new high a day. It's not a special account or anything like that, so it's okay to try it. You needed a 170 tick bracket on the NQ. Yeah, we would have used 80 to 100. Nitin, I would have had 80 to 100, honestly. Did anyone trade the YM? Did anyone trade the YM? So the euro, let's look at what happened on the euro. Yeah, the euro hit target 1 and then stopped out at break even. That's why it was only a small winner. That's what happened. Target 1 and then it reversed. All right. So euro, nothing to write home about, but still profitable. if you moved your stop to break even. If you didn't move your stop, you had a loser on the euro. That's why on a report like this, where we know there's a possibility of reversals, use the target one stop move or find a way to move your stop automatically, right? Find a way. Looks like the YM from the naked eye had a great move like the ES. YM looks pretty good, looks solid. I bet the RTY was probably solid. Now, RTY, did it go up first? Is that what this wick is? Maybe. You have to dig a little deeper. You have to dig deep anyway to make sure that you are correct. You can't necessarily look at a 1 minute chart and be certain what the price movement was. It's not definitive, a 1 minute chart. There's movement you cannot see with the naked eye. That's why you have to look a little deeper. Right, now YM, that's exactly what I'm saying, John. On the 1 minute chart, it looks great. On the 1 minute chart, if you shrink, now RTY looks like everything did the low of day, it looks like. Most of the major indexes hit the low of day. So I'm going to wait on gold. The momentum is out of here right now, so I'm just going to watch it on micro gold. So how would you try to tell? How would you try to tell? All right, so Langford is telling me the RTY was good for him, was great. Did it whip up at all, Langford? How big of a bracket did you use? Now, I would have used a 40 bracket. We were thinking a 40 bracket on the YM. That's what we were initially thinking, a 40 bracket. It's very easy to download data and replay the instruments to see what would have happened. You can, if you really want to see the price action, you go to Tools, Historical Data, get Market Replay Data, put the date on today, and you could download your RTY. You could download gold. We don't need to download the ES. We know what happened. You can download the YM, right? You can download NQ. All right. It's very easy then to just look at the chart at that time. You disconnect your connections. Right, so all my connections are disconnected. Go to playback. Continue. Put the date today, March 6th. Okay, go to the time of the trade, couple of seconds before the news comes out, 8:29:50. All right, so you have 10 seconds to look at the price. All right, so here's the RTY. Ninja always sets the time back to midnight for whatever crazy reason. 8:29:50. And here's how the RTY moved on the report. 8 seconds. So it looks like it had a move up, but it didn't look very big. So that's what I don't even think it was 30 ticks. I think it was probably about 15 ticks of movement because it was in the middle of the wick when it moved up. And then if you look at the NQ, we could put on one chart,
Traders see the probability of a Fed June rate cut
and you
about
could put your
even odds.
YM on another chart, just to see how
This is
did
up
it
from only
move
35% before the
right
jobs
when the
data.
news came out. How did it move? You don't have to set up the trade. We're just looking to see how it moved. We know it went down. How much did it go up before it went down? So looking YM, you put your time back to 829.50, right? 829.50. Press play. And you could see the various instruments. You're not using this clock. And the YM looks like it shot right down, whereas the NQ created a wick to the upside. So that's what Nitin is saying happened on the NQ. It went up first. So you can use replay just to look through things if you want. You know, it's pretty quick and easy. And then you could just put your setup in and run a trade if that's what you want to do. I want to look at the live markets. So we'll reconnect. And we don't need our news anymore, so you could see what the news was. All right. I want to thank everyone on YouTube. We were just streaming this morning the jobs report. We had a big winner, over $800 on the ES, $80 on the euro, and most of the setups we recommended were winners. So thanks everyone for watching on YouTube. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll do some streaming next week as well. Hit the notification bell and hit the like. Let us know you